What's going on, Drinking Buddies? Brand new podcast coming right at you, but you know what we gotta do first? We gotta talk about those things that generate a little revenue for the show. First and foremost, we are brought to you by the Patreon at patreon.com/MattSlayer. Get the entire video catalog, get it uncensored, get it early at patreon.com/MattSlayer. Get the audio ad-free, also on Patreon. Hell, if you don't care about those upper tiers, throw down $3 a month. It's less than the cost of a beer. We are also brought to you by my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/MattFandSlayer. If you're listening to this on Thursday, come hang out in the Twitch stream. Thursday night is community game night. Come play some games with us. You got Amazon Prime? Not mad at the Prime subs. Once again at twitch.tv/MattFandSlayer. Last but not least is the easiest way you can support this show. It's really painless. Share social media posts. Let people know the show exists. Just tell people about the show. It's really not that hard. Helps a ton. Appreciate the hell out of you for it. The other super easy way is go to youtube.com/nowwedrink and subscribe. More subscribers, more of the algorithm. You know how it rolls. Pumping out new content on the YouTube all the time. So please, do the thing that the YouTubers like to say, like and subscribe. Now, if you were listening on Patreon, this is where the show would start. My guest this week is adult performer Siri Dahl. Siri is in LA. We got to do one in person, and this was a fun episode. Holy shit. We get silly. Bourbon, travel, a little inside baseball in the industry, a little bit about some custom content, whole bunch of stuff. So sit back, relax, pop a cold one, and enjoy, Drinking Buddies. How the fuck are you?
I'm great. How are you?
It's been an interesting day. Always an interesting day. We're breaking out the good stuff tonight.
The Weller.
W.L Weller Special Reserve. The last of my last bottle of it until I go somewhere else where I can find it.
Is that hard to find here?
Oh yeah. Well, and if you can find it here, it's prohibitively expensive. They're charging over $100 for this bottle. Like, this bottle came to me courtesy of one of my buddies who lives in like southern Indiana, northern Kentucky border.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came to town, I'm like, oh, if you're coming in, could you grab me a bottle of Weller? And he did. And then I'm like, how much did you pay for that? And he told me that he paid $125 for it. I'm like, dude, I would have never asked you to buy me a bottle that was $125. I was asking because it should be retail price where you live.
Yeah.
Not gray market.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
I super appreciate it. I thank you for the gift, but no.
Yeah.
Like,
dang.
Don't like, it puts me in a weird spot.
Yeah. I wonder how much it is if you actually go to their distillery. It's probably like $40.
Well, so this used to be a $26 bottle.
Yeah.
So everyone fucking discovered it. It was a $26 bottle. And foolishly, years ago, the Walgreens at Sunset and Vine was selling it for retail. And they had shelves of it. And I just took it for granted that it was always going to be there.
Oh.
So I'd only be like, buy a bottle or two at a time. Like, oh yeah, they always have it. I'll just.
Dang.
And then one day they changed the head of the liquor department and like had a clearance sale on whiskey. Like people don't buy whiskey, and just, I mean, that clearance sale was awesome because I walked out of there with like $500 worth of whiskey for about $100.
Oh my God, that's wild.
But after that point, it's just like, oh, you guys have Jack Daniels and occasionally Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
Like normal Walgreens selection at that point. Like, if I had only known.
Oh, man.
I would have bought up their whole fucking inventory. Actually, if I was smart, I would have bought their whole fucking inventory and started gray marketing it around the country. Be like, that could have been my living.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been my living. But laziness and apathy.
That sounds like a lot of work, honestly.
Exactly. It really, like, well, with shipping and everything, I'd make like maybe $40 a bottle. How many bottles do I have to move to make it like actually worth my time to do this?
And then all the time going and finding the bottles?
Well, that's when the Walgreens had
like a
shelves of it. So I would have been okay on that front, but not a sustainable career.
Yeah, no. No.
but I could have bought more for myself. It's not like it goes bad. Well, cheers.
Cheers. Oh, yeah. You're supposed to take a sip after a cheers. I know how to do things.
You're on camera. They see that. They see that you're not drinking it. The audience like, what? She cheers and didn't take a drink, or I got to cut that out, and now you're causing me post work, or maybe I'll have to cut in a shot of you drinking later in the show.
Yeah,
right there.
Just use the same shot over and over again of me just taking a sip.
Like super old school porn styles, where they kept recycling the same penetration shot.
Oh my god! Yeah, you're right. That's kind of weird.
Film was expensive back in the day.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, valid.
And I wonder if those old school performers just couldn't perform as long.
I mean, when was Viagra invented?
That is an amazing question that we will find the answer to right now.
I feel like it was in the early 90s. That's a guess. I feel like I've seen a commercial for Viagra when it first came out, and I feel like it was
96.
Oh, wow. That's way later than I would have thought.
Approved for erectile dysfunction in 98.
What the fuck were people doing about their dicks before then?
Being psychopaths that were just able to get sexually aroused at the thought of anything. That's why there was 5 dudes that did porn back in the day.
Yeah, there's still 5 dudes that do porn now.
Well, that's accurate. There's 40 dudes that claim they do porn, and then there's 5 that actually do porn.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s,
yeah,
you had to shoot on physical fucking media.
Yeah.
And you actually had to get your dick up and keep it up.
Oh my god. Can you imagine the pressure? Because every guy in porn has that moment when, regardless of how reliable a performer that they are, that, you're about to get the cum shot, and then just for whatever reason you get in your head or something, and the dick suddenly doesn't want to work anymore, and then you're pausing. But a lot of the time now, obviously, since we're not rolling on actual film, it's digital, and worst case scenario, you're using up card space or something. But usually we just keep it rolling, because you obviously don't want to have everything cut and then
have
not
to
start rolling soon enough and miss the cum shot. Because sometimes a dude will be oh, it'll be a couple minutes, and then he's sitting there jerking off, and then suddenly 5 seconds later he's oh, okay, all right, here.
Let's go. I'm as a PA, I'm about to bring someone else a water, oh shit, out of the frame.
Yeah. Jump out of the frame real quick.
Oh fuck.
The guy holding the boom just swings in real quick and clobbers everyone on the head. Yeah.
We work in a professional industry for reals. But yeah, the 90s or before just had to have been absolutely fucking wild.
Yeah. 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 I'm glad that I didn't that I wasn't born early enough to be doing porn during that era.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of long days on set. But a lot of money. A lot of money in those days.
Yeah.
For the top talent, there was
That's true. That's true.
Jenna Jameson turned around and turned her porn money into real estate money, into massive website money, into selling Club Jenna off to Playboy at some point.
Wild.
So, yeah, it's just oh, you are a multi-fucking millionaire off porn.
Yeah. There's people doing that now, multi-millionaire OnlyFans money.
It's true. You hear the stories of the 1%ers in OnlyFans. It's
oh, yeah.
It's crazy, but it's honestly so much more work for that same millions of dollars.
Yeah, you're doing it all on your own. Yeah.
At that point, you could afford to hire a staff, but it's still...
Oh, yeah.
But it's still not the same as, oh, I'm a contract star. I just show up on set. I do my thing. I go home.
Yes. Yeah.
I do Howard Stern occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very different.
They didn't have to worry about social media or having to interact with their fan base all the fucking time.
That's what I would be curious to experience, is porn performerdom pre-social media. And I'm not I don't dislike fan interactions. It's not even about the fans per se on social media. It's more just about the requirement of constantly being on social media and making content. And then the fact that you have to do that to be successful in this industry and to gain an audience and stay relevant. But also it is increasingly fucking impossible to do because of censorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, all these companies that, really got popular because of adult performers are all of a sudden whoa, we got an audience now. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, pretty much. I mean, at least OnlyFans now is they recently reconfirmed that there's a home for sex workers on OnlyFans for at least the next like 5 years, I think was the quote or something. But
I love that they put an expiration date on it. Like,
right.
In 5 years.
Yeah, I don't even know where that's coming from. So,
well, I'm sure they're like, okay, in 5 years, most of the people that like were really upset with us or almost throwing sex workers off this platform before will probably be out of sex work at that point. They will forget that we made this statement in the first place. It'll be fine.
In 5 years, OnlyFans is just going to dry up anyway. Like, they're just looking at like the economy and being like, well, inflation's going to get worse for 5 years continually, so no one will be willing to pay for OnlyFans. So that's why.
Well, I don't know. The idea of custom content, I think, will still sell. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's ever going to go out of style. Yeah, there's always going to be people that want the custom stuff.
They want the exclusive, moment of your time and all that bullshit that comes with OnlyFans.
Or just the hyper-specific fetish guys that know that the only way they're going to see the thing they want to see is if they order it custom made.
God bless them.
Mm-hmm. I got a really interesting one the other day.
Ooh.
Do you want me to tell you about it?
No, not. Why would I want to know about someone's disgusting fetish? Of course I want to know about it. Come on, Siri.
It's a butt sweat fetish.
Butt sweat.
Yeah, the request was specifically like, I want your butt crack to be as sweaty as possible. So, like, wear leggings and work out and, like, don't... Specifically, it requested, like, don't shower for 24 hours and just a very, very detailed, several paragraphs long description of, like, the level of butt sweat that the fan wants to see in my butt crack. And I'm like, I can do this. Like, I don't have a problem with, like, making this. Like, I already do plenty of stuff where it's just, like, showing my butt 2 inches from a camera anyway. It's not really any different to me. But specifically, the thing that was weird to me about their request, I guess, is like, how much sweat do you think my actual like butt produces? Like I go pretty hard at the gym. I don't really get like, it's not like that level. Like you wouldn't see it, It's not like there's gonna be like a river of sweat streaming in between my butt cheeks.
You're gonna have to have your partner.
To be the concept of like what's gonna happen.
You're gonna have your partner like off camera, just like spritzing you and like.
And he specifically also was like, don't fake it with spit or lube or anything. And I'm like, all right, well, you have two options. You either just get the natural amount of sweat that my butt produces, which sounds like you might be disappointed by, or I have to supplement with something else. We'll see. I don't know.
He sounds like a refund in the making.
Not a confirmed custom, but I'm always a little like iffy about like hyper specific fetish requests, because when someone's that specific about it, my experience as a creator has been the more demanding and specific someone is with their custom request, the more avenues they have to be like, this isn't what I wanted, I want a refund. When it's like, sometimes you're asking for things that literally like camera angles that aren't possible. Like when it'll be like, I can't think of a actual example, but there is a thing that I see regularly with custom requests where it's like, they're requesting a certain framing that literally isn't physically possible. Like they're like, I want you to sit in this way where like your butt's in the center, but like I can, and it's framed like this and the camera's this far away from you, but I also want your feet and your hands and like your full face to be visible. And I'm like,
I mean, that's doable.
I'm not a contortionist. Like,
no, that's doable. You just need like 4 cameras and then like just, kind of have a like montage of your various parts on frame.
Like picture in picture.
Yeah.
All over. Yeah. You
just gotta be creative with it. Like, that's what I got you, bro.
Price goes up to like $10,000 because I'm like, I'm gonna have to buy 4 additional cameras for this.
Right, and he's like, oh, it better be at 60 frames a second. Like, you better not shoot this at 24p.
60 frames per second is overrated.
Well, yeah, you use that to do slow-mo.
I mean, valid.
I shoot pretty much everything at 30.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy.
Mm-hmm. I
know 24 is cinematic, but in modern digital cameras, 30 is great.
30 is fine. I for a while I was shooting everything in 60 just because pre-Pornhub being like capped in the knees days, when I was uploading a lot more shit to Pornhub, you would get a special, like if you uploaded a 60 frame per second 4K video, it would just automatically be tagged as such. Like you couldn't choose those tags. The system did it because it knew the frame rate of the video. And you would get like priority placement on the homepage. So your video would get like pushed more by the algorithm. But now it doesn't really matter because Pornhub's lost so much traffic.
Well, and Really? Who cares when they're fapping? Really? You need those extra 30 frames a second? Really? Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure who actually cares. Like, I did it to satisfy the algorithm, just like everything I do on social media.
But it's one of those things where, like, Pornhub's compressing the video. It's not like you're getting out of camera quality on it anyways. It's being transmitted over the fucking internet.
And does the 4K matter when you're watching it on a tiny phone screen? Like,
they can see your pores. So those sweat bros, like, I gotta see every glisten and every pore.
Every droplet.
I love those fetish dudes. Like, God bless.
They want to see like what individual little hair growing around my butthole I missed in my shaving routine, you know?
Like, they want such high resolution that they could do a cancer check on your moles.
Hey, I wouldn't mind that. That's a service. Like, I do so much for you guys, the fans. Do something for me. Give me a butt cancer check, please.
Like, oh, that mole looks like it's getting a little darker. You may want to go see somebody about that.
Last video you posted, that mole looked about 4 shades lighter. Yeah.
That would be so wild. But knowing how porn fans are, that pervert would be a dermatologist. Be like, oh, just come see me.
Yeah.
Come see me. I'll take care of it for free.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, like the glory days of porn where it's just like, you go to set, you just leave. None of this. None of this.
Yeah.
You just had to deal with, criminal elements and shady fucking, producers.
Yeah.
The shady producers are still here, so.
That's true. There's still some of those around.
Sadly, the nature of the beast and just how the industry keeps getting fucked by the mainstream world, I don't think they'll ever truly be gone.
Oh, I don't think so either. Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a whack-a-mole. Like, the industry identifies someone shady, eventually they do something about it, and then a new one just pops up.
Mm-hmm. There's always new shady guys wanting to make a living in this industry, for sure. I think this is my opinion as a independent, like, self-booking model, but I think a lot of the shadiness is relevant to the, like, talent agent setup that we have in the industry. It, like, enables a lot of it. It takes a lot of power away from the performers.
Well, the problem is,
I'm not very pro-agent, as I've always been honest about.
And if agents work like they're supposed to, agents should be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, I had a performer on recently who was like, yeah, I just got off set and I was talking with my boss. I'm like, stop right there. Your agent works for you.
Right.
Like, do not ever refer to your agent as your boss.
Well, they'll tell girls I'm your boss. Yeah, because they know, like, there's a power dynamic there that they're going to use to their advantage, for sure.
And it's so...
The contracts are often insane.
And unenforceable.
Mm-hmm. I actually had, I'm not going to say any details, but I was, at one point, since I came out of retirement, I did spend some time talking to different agencies and, like, thinking about it, exploring, and definitely decided, like, nah, this isn't the way. I was like, I don't know, I've been away for 5 years. Maybe it's better. Like, maybe there are agents that are better now. And, but one specific contract that I had, that I reviewed and gave to my lawyer for review, my lawyer, like, immediately, like, called me and was like, don't sign this. This is, like, literally the most exploitative, like, unenforceable contract I've ever seen. Like, I don't even understand how this could have, like, made it past, like, the review board for, like, licensed bonded talent agents. Like,
oh, you're assuming that agency is licensed and bonded.
They were.
Okay. Because not all of them are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely not all of them are. But even the ones that are, sometimes it's just like, still, it's like, wow, you find a way to word things in the contract that it ekes by the review board, but it's still not a good deal for the model.
Well, you're assuming that they're presenting the same contract to the review board that they are to the models.
Yeah, that's also worth questioning.
Right. Like, I'm assuming California is not all up in adult agencies' businesses. Like, oh, once you've got your license and bond, they're probably fucking off until, like, someone makes a stink.
Right. Yeah. Unless someone actually brings a case or a complaint officially, which of course is rare. And we saw that happen with the one guy.
Yeah. Yep. And that was Yep.
Yep.
This fucking business sometimes, and it's wild. It's absolutely just fucking wild. And that agent in particular still has models under that umbrella.
Exactly.
And some of them are very big names. I don't know. If my representative was in nationally covered legal trouble, not sure I'd want to stick around.
Yeah. And it's like with that guy, I mean, should we say who? I mean, does it matter?
It does, just because legal liability.
Oh, fair. Okay. With this particular agent that we are not naming, like, that was my agent when I was brand new to the business for less than a year. I had signed a contract, and the agent wasn't fulfilling his end, and I said, this isn't working out. I want out of the contract. And of course, he tried to hold me to it. And that's when I was like, here's all the ways that I have proof that you have been literally violating the contract on your own end. And
I'll just not getting you work, or was
he was producers would call to hire me, and he just didn't like me. Like, literally, he just didn't like me, didn't agree with me. He didn't think that I was like a sellable performer, even though he agreed to represent me. But that's a lot of agents will do that. They're just like, I can make some money off this girl. Well, I'll never be top talent, but I can
make some money,
squeeze something out.
Also, it's my competition not making money off her.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what it was. And once I actually started to make a name for myself, which I did for myself because he wasn't never really working hard to book me. But once I started getting shit tons of booking requests, he would answer the phone and say, oh, Siri's not available, but this other girl is. And after a couple months in the business with this happening, the producers that I had developed some sort of personal rapport with, who trusted me and respected me, I started having people tell me hey, just so you know, I tried to hire you for this and your agent said you couldn't do it and suggested someone else instead. And I'm like, oh, I know that I was available at that time. That he literally lied to try to redirect them to hire someone else that he preferred more. So,
or possibly that he could have gotten a bigger cut of their rate.
Yeah, possibly. So it's shit like that, basically. And I had evidence of this, and I was like, I'll go to the labor board. And he was like, oh, all right, you're out of your contract. I'm going to keep your photo on the website until it was a 1-year contract or something. He was like, your photo's staying on the website until it's over, though. And I was like, fine. Keep because he didn't want anyone to know that I was out of the contract, but I was. Basically, it worked out because my photo was on the website, but everyone who ever hired me knew not to hire me through him. And I just self-booked from then on. So that was my first experience with an agent, which is why I'm like...
Yeah, that could definitely sour you on the experience. And unfortunately, there's a lot of horror stories that are very similar to that with a lot of fucking performers. But the problem with...
Hear about it all the time.
The problem with the agency system and porn altogether is the average lifespan's fucking 6 months. So, a lot of people that happens to don't bother to let anyone know about it because they're just out.
Yeah.
They have a similar experience well, I'm just not getting booked. I'm starving doing this. I'm just going to go do something else.
Yeah.
Or have bad experiences in the biz.
Yeah.
I've said it multiple times. There needs to be a porno 101.
Yeah.
This industry just forever, yes, in the studio system back in the 90s, yes, there were limited spots to be a Vivid girl. There were limited spots to work for Wicked, work for the major fucking studios. I understand it being super cutthroat in those days. In 2022, there's enough for everybody. Yeah, you may not be making 1% or OnlyFans money, but you'll make a living.
Well, even with the some top, and I'm not even, this isn't specifically me subtweeting anyone. Verbally subtweeting, IRL subtweeting, I don't know. But so I don't even have a direct example. It's not like I haven't had a conversation with someone like this where this happened, but I just other people that I know who are, making their living primarily with their own self-created content have I've just heard so many tales told of oh, I had set up a content shoot with this person that's top 0.1% on OnlyFans or whatever, this, and it's some person making well over $100,000 a month based on their ranking on OnlyFans, and they're setting up content shoots and they're not abiding by the testing standards, or they're just not doing things that anyone who comes from the studio background in the industry would know are you do this.
Oh, I've definitely had people like, I'm just flat out be like, so are you getting 2257 paperwork for your OnlyFans content? And just blank stares.
Yeah.
Like, the federal government can literally just kick in your door and demand your records, right? That's part of making pornography. They can audit you whenever they want.
Yeah.
That's why on studio porn, it has to say where the records are fucking stored. So they know.
Yeah. So they can come kick your door down.
Yeah.
And come get your records.
And prove we don't have a Tracy Lord situation going on.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but, and the thing about it is you have OnlyFans, the Hub, all these other sites kind of contributing to this because, once you're a verified model, they don't need 2257 every time you fucking upload content. It's like, but you legally do.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have to have it. Yeah.
And just because the site you're putting it on isn't fucking auditing you doesn't mean that you probably shouldn't cover your ass.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents.
Also, it's just good to have that because, like, look, if you want to... Now, I don't know how many people actually do this in, like, the creator world side of porn, but a really great way to add on to your income in porn is, like, to actually license your stuff to other companies. And you cannot license shit if you don't have valid 2257 paperwork. Like, and if you ever have the opportunity to license it and someone wants to buy those scenes and license them, they're going to ask for that paperwork. And if you don't have it, then you're going to have to go cover your tracks and find everyone you ever fucking shot a scene with and, like, ask them to fill out paperwork retroactively, which is technically not legal the way that the paperwork's supposed to go. But even if you were going to try that, like, good luck.
Yeah. Half the people you shot with haven't been in the industry in years.
Yeah.
And then they also add the fact that if you have someone who becomes born again and it's like, I hate porn, guess what? You don't have valid model releases. They can force you to take that content down.
Yeah. 100%.
And
I've heard of it happening. It's never happened to me because I always get my paperwork, but
like, oh my God, it's so fucking simple. Like 2 seconds. Bunny ears, paperwork, ta-da.
Yeah. Yeah. The other reason it hasn't happened to me is I just, I'm very choosy about who I shoot content with, and anyone who's a possible future born again convert,
What's your born again convert test? How are you?
I don't have one. It's just being judgmental as hell.
Oh, you're not dropping questions like, so do you believe in God?
Maybe. Do you believe in Satan? That's the one. That's the test. It's like, are you a member of the Satanic Temple? Oh, sweet. Yeah, let's shoot content.
Atheist and Satanic Temple members only.
Yeah.
Or entertainment Jews.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Us members of the tribe that are just, are you Jewish? Are we in a meeting? Yes, I am Jewish.
Here we go.
It's Hollywood. I mean, otherwise I'm an atheist.
Entertainment Jews.
It's a thing.
I like that.
Well, like my very first entertainment lawyer is like, are you a member of the tribe? I'm like, and I am Jewish. It's like,
right.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm never been practicing. I love bacon. I fucking love bacon so much. So much. I'm like, yeah, of course. He's like, there's just something about this biz that, attracts our people. It's true. There's a lot of us in entertainment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if anyone asks me in those circles, I'm Jewish. Show you my circumcision if I have to.
Some of us are circumcised and not Jewish, though.
It's true.
Like me.
Oh, that's sad. Female circumcision's really sad.
Oh, I just meant like my strap-on variety.
Oh, okay.
They all happen to be circumcised.
No, we're not getting into genital mutilation this early in the show. I got it.
Yeah, not this early. That's for later.
Hour two is when genital mutilation comes in.
Yeah.
All your fans are like, she did what to her? Oh my God. No, no. I wonder if, I'm not going to Google it. I'm definitely not going to, but I wonder if there is a whole like fetish for like women that were circumcised.
I don't know. Maybe.
There's got to be, right?
I assume that there's a fetish for literally everything under the sun. So
Same.
Probably.
But it's just interesting, like if someone, because that generally happens in like very repressive places in the world.
Yeah.
The idea of someone like escaping one of those really repressive places and being like, fuck it, I'm going to do porn.
Hey, way to reclaim your body, I guess.
Yeah, but that's also got to suck because like the amount of pleasure lost from a female circumcision, it's got to be a ton.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very sad to think about. Here on the flip side, I know that there's definitely a fetish for like really elongated labia.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's one for big clits too.
Oh, I'm certain there is. Yeah. Have you ever like this? Talking about elongated labia makes me think of this, but like one of the weird like anti-porn bents that I see commentary about pretty often is the whole like porn gives people unrealistic expectations of sex and bodies, and like, you know, women who've clearly had so much like surgery to reduce the size of their labia. And I'm like, I'm literally not aware. I think there's one porn star ever that had like
I know someone
labia surgery and like sold off the like cuttings.
I know someone for a fact who had a labiaplasty.
But
you talked about it on the show, so
they're not that common though. No. Is my point. Is like they're actually pretty fucking rare, even in porn.
We just allow only pretty pussies in. That's all. Like, it's the selection process. You can have any body type you want, but like if your pussy's not pretty, you're out.
See, I don't even know if that's true. Because
no, it's definitely not.
So many different, like, all kinds of shit.
Yeah. And honestly, dudes, why would you discriminate against a large labia? That is more, flesh around your member.
Yeah, sounds like fun to me.
Right? Like, I don't want just the tip in. I want it enveloped.
I've enlarged my own labia over the last, 10 years. I guarantee if some of my fans go in, if a fan of mine goes and they, side by side compare, a video of me from 2012 versus, now, it's not a huge difference, but, I notice, and it's because of the way that I have sex. It's just the way that I have sex. I sort of spread my pussy open on one side. So my left side labia is longer than it used to be. Because I'm stretching it basically whenever I have sex.
I didn't know that there was a science to that. I assumed you were tying weights to it. And
oh yeah, like when dudes try to stretch their foreskin back out.
Why? It's gone, man. Just accept it. Just accept it. And I'm also very happy I don't have a foreskin because I would get nothing done. Because sex is supposed to be more pleasurable.
Oh, fair. I was like, what are you gonna? Because you'd be playing with your foreskin,
pretty much, yeah.
Just playing with the foreskin, just be making it talk and stuff.
This is my squid dick. There'll be a whole series on Pornhub of my dick just talking to camera.
I think that could be successful.
I don't have a foreskin, so I'm out.
You can. I bet they sell foreskin jackets. A little silicone foreskin that you put over your dick to remind yourself of what it could have been.
It's kind of like a foreskin merkin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'll just write something for Tommy Pistol and let him do it.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
He'd probably do a better performance than I would anyways.
Yeah, he would kill it.
Yeah.
As he does with everything.
Exactly. I freely have admitted on multiple occasions, the only reason I got nominated for an AVN is because Tommy's not a Jew.
Oh my.
Well, because I only got cast for the role because Tommy's not a Jew and Joanna only wanted to cast actual Jews for it. It's the only reason I got.
What was the
for Jews Love Black Cock in 2018?
Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, Joanna only wanted to cast actual Jews as Jews, and if
that's fair.
So that's the only reason I got the role, because otherwise that would have been Tommy Pistol and he would have fucking won.
That's so great. I love it.
So, thank you, Tommy, for being Italian.
Thanks, Tommy.
But yeah, I will write that for Tommy and just, I guess, set up cameras so his foreskin.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does not have time in the day for that, but
he'd probably make time.
Yeah, for that screams Tommy Pistol project.
Yeah, it does.
I'll text him right after the show, be like, so we came up with something.
So Tommy, how's your foreskin doing lately? Just curious, no reason.
Yeah, it's doing all right. Not too red, not too rough.
You've been moisturizing it?
Is it good to go? Is the camera ready? But yeah, I stand by the fact that I'm, as an adult male, happy I don't have one at this point.
Yeah.
Because, fuck, I don't understand if sex is more pleasurable, how anyone gets shit done.
I mean, valid.
I mean, I also said this about, gay men. I don't understand how, gay men create art and have all this time to do fabulous and awesome things. Because it's two dudes. It's two dudes with...
Yeah, that took me a minute. I was like, yeah, it's two dudes. Oh.
Yeah. It's two dudes. Congrats on you, for being prosperous and, doing well, but it's two male sex drives in the relationship. Good on you.
I mean, possibly, maybe the most successful examples of that are like they both happen to have low sex drives or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's sad.
It is kind of sad.
Like, could you imagine?
Hey, that exists.
It does, but it's sad. It's sad. It's sad for anyone.
Or maybe it's, mental health related and you're on SSRIs and they inhibit your sexual response.
That's sad too. Like, like the meds that are going to keep you from doing self-harm and really fucking up your life, then fuck up. Like, I don't understand how antidepressants work when they're like, oh, they cause your hair to fall out and your dick not to work. Like, how is this?
Which one does hair falling out? I haven't heard of that.
Oh yeah,
side effect. I don't doubt it. I just haven't. I'm on. I have been for years, and I've never. Oh shit! Is my hair falling out?
I could be making that up. I swear that was a thing.
Yeah, I just know the difficulty achieving orgasm is a side effect, and
although rare, hair loss can be one of the most unwanted side effects of taking antidepressants.
Wow.
So it basically triggers excess shedding.
Oh wow.
So could you imagine, I need this pill to balance my brain chems, but it kills my sex drive and causes my hair to fall out. How is that still working?
It makes my dick sad and my head bald.
Yeah. All it has to do now is just make me pack on extra pounds, and it's the perfect pill to make me happy. Modern science. Woo!
Good times.
That would just be horrible. I mean, also, some of the Rogaine and shit like that, some of the hair growth pills also cause your dick not to work too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's a horrible choice. I would rather be fucking bald and my dick work than my hair looks good.
Yeah, baldness isn't a big deal. I understand, look, as someone who treasures my own hair, if I started balding, I would have a really hard time dealing with it. But, the men that I've known who, start going bald at, a younger age, or even, at a later age when it's more expected that could happen if you have the genetic, predisposition, it makes me sad that guys get super sad about balding. Because I'm plenty of dudes are bald and look good.
Well, they were probably ugly to begin with. And they're at least I have my hair.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that's what I got going on. That's why I'm wearing this hat.
The thing that's sadder than going bald is going bald and refusing to ever admit that you're going bald. And then you have the dude that has it. I don't know. Is there a word for this? Where you have zero hair here and then super, super long on the sides?
I mean, the Hulk Hogan ring?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Hulk Hogan was rocking that forever.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or it could be the skull. It could be the skullet.
Oh, yeah. The skullet. Yeah. Okay. That's the word that I was trying to think of. I was I know that I've heard a word tossed around for this.
If you have dreads and you're metal as fuck about it, it's a thing you can pull off. Or you could be like the dude from the Prodigy and do the two mohawks.
Oh, my God. That actually kind of sounds funny.
Well, you remember that dude, right?
No.
You don't remember?
I'm trying to imagine what it looks like because I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, dude.
The Prodigy? Is
that
a band or a TV show? Oh. What kind of band is it?
Kind of music. Oh,
it's music? Oh,
cool. Electronic music. There was a word that was supposed to go in front of music. Oh, I talk for a living. Whoops.
It's
music. It's electronic dance music.
Oh no, I have heard. Okay, yeah. Oh my God.
Their big hits were Firestarter, Breathe.
I'm sure I've heard.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I'll probably end up playing that on the drive home.
I can't believe I just. Well, that's staying in because I can't remove it.
Yeah.
They play music. They're a band. But yeah,
you're just being super sarcastic with me.
Nope, that was a legit flub. I'll own that. That was just me I'm Googling words. Fuck.
Music.
Yeah, they were big in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. Would they have had a song on Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
No.
Not the style.
Not they were, though they had kind of a punky image. They were definitely not punky enough of a band to be on though the video for Breathe is, I remember seeing it And it's got to be like 99 and just being like, wow, this is really fucked up, MTV. Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go look at that video later.
One of their other big hits was like Smack My Bitch Up. Like, that's the chorus. Like, smack my bitch up. The 90s were a wild time.
The 90s were a wild time. Did you watch that Woodstock 99 documentary?
I did.
Oh, God, that was good. That was so good.
I'm old enough that I know people that actually attended.
Yeah.
Friends of mine went with their parents to Woodstock 99. Like,
Bah.
that's really cool of their parents to be like, yeah, we're going to take you to this music festival, like, clear across the fucking country.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, by the way.
So just like, it'll be like the original Woodstock.
Well, hell, 94 went off with relatively without a hitch.
Yeah.
Like, besides people stealing, like, breaking in and not paying for tickets, 94 relatively went off well. 99,
What a shit show.
literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally a shit show, yeah.
Well, and part of the shit show from 99 is in 94 it rained, so there was like what they called mud hippies. Like, people were rolling around and like and throwing mud. Like, Green Day famously had like a mud fight with the audience during their set. So people wanted to recreate that during 99 and didn't realize they were literally rolling around in shit.
Oh my God. It's horrible, but it's also very funny.
Yeah, people didn't have the wealth of human knowledge in their hands at that point. They're just like, oh, hey.
And I guess they were just too drunk to realize that it smelled like poo.
I'm assuming that whole festival smelled like poo.
Probably. Yeah, that's a good point. If everything just smells like poo from the second you walk in, how are you going to know when the poo is what smells like poo?
Right. You have flooding porta potties. You have people just out there sweating all fucking day. Like, medieval peasants probably smell better than festival attendees at that show.
I've never been to a music festival ever.
Really?
Of any sort. Yep. Nope. I have on more than one occasion, actually most recently this summer, bought tickets, sometimes very expensive tickets to a music festival, and for one reason or another, either sold the tickets last minute, or like in one case I had bought like VIP, like full backstage, like whatever tickets to this. Was a smaller music festival, but then I literally I bought 2 tickets, and between the time when I bought the tickets, because I bought them far in advance, and the actual festival happening, the dude that I had been dating and we broke up. So then I had to ask all my friends, and no one was available to go with me, and I was just like, well, I'm not going alone. So I just sold them and didn't go. So I've had so many times when I've tried to go and wanted to go, but it's never happened.
See, that could have been an auction for a fan. That could have been
this was when I was retired from porn, so there was no.
Oh, what you think your fans just dried up while you retired?
To be honest, I kind of assumed that that's what had happened until early 2020 when I Googled myself and found my subreddit and was like, oh,
I could have made this very, very fucking profitable for myself. Shit. Which festival was it, by the way?
It was one in Louisville, Kentucky. I don't even remember what it's called.
What's the type of music?
Forecastle. That's what it's called.
What type of music?
They get all kinds of bands. I think the year that I had tickets, I was super excited. It was Modest Mouse and Weezer were the big headliners. And I was very excited because Weezer was one of my first ever concerts. And I was a giant Weezer geek as a teen. So yeah, I was really excited to go, but then I ended up not going. And still, now I've never been to one. And I'm But then I watched the Woodstock 99 documentary and I'm I don't know that I want to go to a music festival.
Honestly.
Sounds fucking terrible.
Honestly, even when music festivals go right, I still hate them. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, the band I actually want to see is going to get a 15-minute set.
Yeah, so that's not something I never even considered about it. Is how long are they actually playing?
Unless you're a headliner, a lot of times the smaller bands down the 15, 20-minute sets.
So they're playing 4 songs.
Yeah, 4 or 5 songs.
Wow.
Cool, I saw them. And you're in with a sea of people, and depending on how the festival's set up, you're walking literally miles between stages.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have to make bad executive choices 2 bands I want to see are playing at the exact same fucking time. Which one am I going to go to?
Oh, that would kill me.
And then, I watched their set. It was fucking 4 or 5 songs. Cool. Yeah. I paid hundreds of dollars to see this band because I don't most times don't care about headliners.
Yeah.
Not to say that like I haven't had fun when I've gone to like Riot Fest in Chicago, but given the choice of going to a music festival and there being all these bands, or seeing one band I really want to fucking see do a full set at a venue like the size of the Fonda, where it's like 2,000, 3,000 people, I will take the Fonda any day of the week. Like, I hate stadium shows. The idea of like going to a fucking stadium to see music is just horrible on every fucking level. Music isn't meant to be enjoyed in a stadium.
There's only like a handful of artists that I would bother to go see at a stadium, and it's only like people that are so famous that like obviously they're only going to play stadiums, and like
but it's so depressing. Like,
when I saw Weezer, I was in 8th grade, and that was at a stadium, and it was great. We weren't supposed to get floor tickets, but my hooligan best friend was like, "Fuck that!" and she just like jumped over the barrier. Which is wild because it's a stadium, so like you're in the seats, and then this was like, it was in Minneapolis, so it was a hockey stadium, and I don't know, it was probably like an 8-foot drop from like where the seats were to like jump over onto the floor area, and she just fucking hopped over.
And you just followed her?
Yeah, because I was like, well, I'm not gonna be stuck up here, jeez. And they didn't really have security like preventing people from doing that. I think they assumed like this 8-foot drop is enough to stop people from jumping over the barrier. But no, not a 13-year-old who loves Weezer.
You literally just failed like every parent's like query. Like, would you jump off a bridge if your friend did?
Oh, 100%.
And Siri's answer is yes.
Well, my dad used to say that to me a lot when he was like just harassing me about whatever. And my response is always like, yeah, because I trust my friends. And I assume if they're jumping off a bridge, it's because there's something fucking coming for us from behind. Like, yeah. Am I going to get mowed down by the semi-truck, or am I going to jump? I'll jump off the bridge, Dad. It's fine. I know how to swim.
Never thought of it that way.
Apparently, neither did my dad, because he didn't really have a response for that. He was like, well, okay.
I mean, it is, when you put it that way, it is a sensible response.
It's all about perspective.
Definitely. And also that you have much more trustworthy friends than I do.
Fair.
My friends, I fully think, would jump off a bridge and like have themselves a way to like fall just under it as like a joke, and like, oh, look, that asshole actually jumped after me. Ha ha.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, we've all got friends like that one.
I might be that friend.
Oh, you're the friend.
I might be. Sometimes. I maybe. There's an old saying in my group of friends, everyone has their turn to be the asshole. So, yeah.
I like that saying. That's true.
It is, as long as it's not a constant thing. You get a turn.
Yeah, it's turn. You get a turn to be an asshole.
Right. Not you get to be an asshole. There's a major difference there.
If you're the only one taking your asshole turn repeatedly, then check yourself.
Yeah. Or I just won't associate with you anymore. Like, the beauty of getting older is like, oh yeah, the perspective of like, hey, if you're toxic and horrible in my life, history doesn't fucking matter. Like, we will go our separate ways. Because there are plenty of people that have been in my life that are great people, that are not toxic. And we've gone separate ways because that's just how life goes. Why should I keep the fucking piece of shit around?
Yeah.
Tell that to a teenager. And
oh no, your world's so much smaller when you're that young. You don't really have the concept of like, people grow apart, and like, yeah, you can be super close with someone, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be closest, bestest of friends for your entire lives. Although that happens to you, and that's great.
It does, but
yeah.
One of my oldest friends that I've known since I was 7 years old is married with 4 kids. I still have a lot of love for that dude, but we are in very different places in life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't relate to the idea of like, oh, hey, I'm going to foster a kid. Like, you have 4 of your own already and you're going to foster another one? Okay.
Yeah, there's a different, like, because I have some friends who have kids, and I'm a very committed, child-free person.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Oh, now I'm going to drink it, so you don't have to reuse the clip of me.
I still think it would be funnier if I just keep reusing the same clip of you drinking. Just over and over again, just like very obvious cut.
But yeah, like my friends that have kids, I'm just like, that's so much work. I couldn't ever. Also, like, I don't know how this is enjoyable to you. The kids are cute, sure.
Tricks of brain chemistry is how it's enjoyable.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
literally different brain chemistry.
Well, it's how people enjoy toxic relationships till they realize, like, oh, the brain chemistries are tricking them that this is okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's like the reward, like, punishment type thing.
Yeah.
It fucks up your brain. Yeah. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. I had a very, very toxic relationship in my past that once I finally got out of it, I was like, oh my God, like, it's wild how your brain does, like, fuck around with you.
Yeah, because if it wasn't triggering something in your brain, there's no reason that a reasonably intelligent human being would stick around in that garbage.
Yeah.
But something in the brain like, I love them. They're the best. And then the minute you're free of like, oh my God, what the fuck? Holy shit, all my friends are right. Mm-hmm. Every last one. Oh my God, what have I been doing with my life? Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fucking worst.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you learn from the mistake, it's okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I learned from mine.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
I tell myself I do, and then sometimes I don't.
Well, sometimes you learn from the same mistake a couple times before you really, really, really learn.
I sometimes lie to myself and be like, oh, no, this is different. This is a different person. This is not the same circumstances. Like,
yeah,
these are some of the same toxic circumstances. Shit.
That's when you can practice that cutting the toxic people out of your life. Fun stuff.
I thankfully did that like with an ex right at the beginning of right before the pandemic, and I held out the whole pandemic and did not reach back out, and I'm very, very happy about it.
Yeah. Whew. That's beautiful.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people were reaching out to exes during.
Yeah, that seemed to happen a lot, didn't it? Yeah.
I blame it on lack of genital stimulation for a lot of people as they're sitting at home.
Yes, this makes sense.
It's just like, oh man, that person stimulated my genitals all right. I wonder what they're up to.
Yeah, I was very, very glad once we got into the height of the pandemic and shutdowns and everything that I was not single. I was very, very happy. Because I just saw, like, my friends that are single were just like, well, another day alone locked in my house.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. I also, like, just hooked up with some people irresponsibly.
Yeah.
Like, definitely.
You got to do what you got to do.
Well, yeah. There was definitely a couple of girls who just like, what are you up to? I'm like, nothing. It's the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Mind if I come by? Yeah, come by. And then, post-nut clarity, you're like, wow, was this orgasm potentially worth dying over? And not in a fun way.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like pre-vaccine days.
Oh, yeah.
Even, yeah. Oh, God. Whew. Like, fun memories.
Like, I could have died in a very horrible way for this orgasm. Shit. So what are you doing next week? I already pulled the Band-Aid off.
That's like the post-nut clarity, post-nut declarity.
I mean, the nut builds pressure back up.
Yeah.
It reloads.
What's the window of post-nut clarity time here?
About an hour.
Okay.
About an hour. I had some very profound moments of post-nut clarity of just like, oh, this is definitely not where it should be. Like, I'm not going to bore my audience with one of them because I literally told a story of, oh, wait a minute, was that off air? I definitely told the post-nut clarity story last night, like with my guest that was on last night. And I don't remember if it was on air or not.
Well,
it was a sad moment. The cliff notes were, I was hooking up with someone that had a lot, like, sweet person, but had a lot of tendencies that just drove me fucking insane.
Okay.
Like, I don't think they were intentional. I just think that we're fundamentally incompatible people.
Mm-hmm.
And I got called over for like a late night booty call, and my self-respect, because I had already driven to the valley to get laid, I did some things that I did not feel were worth like my self-respect. And like after I came and I was sitting in her bathtub with the shower running on me, like, why am I here? I should have gone home. The opportunity presented itself to go home, but I had already driven to Van Nuys at 1 o'clock in the morning to get laid.
Who wants to be on Van Nuys at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Sex.
Yeah.
Literally.
I say that and I'm like...
I mean, I didn't want...
Back in the days when I lived in LA, I used to live very close to Van Nuys. I was always there at 1 a.m.
I didn't want to be there
Not
at
a
1
great
o'clock.
place.
I did not want to be there at 1 o'clock in the morning. It was literally like, hey, you want to come by? Oh, okay, yeah. I know what this is. Yeah, I'm down for this.
So, like, maybe, you know how people keep dream journals? Like a little, like, notebook on their bedside table? Like, you should just carry a little, like, notepad around with you. It's like your post-nut clarity journal. So you can always write down those thoughts.
I just record them on the podcast.
That means that you have to schedule a podcast recording within the 1 hour window immediately post-nut.
No, I remember my post-nut clarity. I may not act on it. Like, I very vividly remember sitting in that shower.
Okay.
Very vividly remember sitting in that shower going, why am I here? Why did I put up with all this bullshit tonight? The quick and dirty of it is because of how much of a flake she is, I left 3 times. Oh, no, I left twice and came back a third time.
Oh, wow.
Because I showed up at 1 o'clock in the morning and she left me standing outside for 15 minutes.
Oh, no. That's a little weird.
Oh, yeah. And the reason I really stopped hanging out with her is because she could never be on time anywhere.
Wait, was this me?
No.
Oh, okay.
Were we involved and I was just blackout drunk the whole time? Like, I don't think so.
I mean, I'm questioning if I was, because I'm like, the number one way my friends describe me is never on time for anything ever.
I mean, this is hours late. Hours.
I'm consistently 7 minutes late.
Yeah, 7 minutes.
That's my, like, golden zone.
It's LA. 7 minutes is more than acceptable. Literally, we were going out to dinner for Thanksgiving me, her, and some of my other friends. And the reservation was at a certain time. And the restaurant was running so far behind. 45 minutes after our reservation, we still hadn't been set. She still wasn't there.
Oh, wow. I guess she kind of lucked out then.
Well,
is it the type of place where they don't seat you unless your whole party's there?
And then when they eventually went to seat us, she still wasn't there. She's like, oh, I'm leaving Pasadena now. And I'm like, you're leaving Pasadena fucking now? Like, our reservation was 45 fucking minutes.
Oh, my God.
Like, I kind of got pissed off. I'm like, just don't bother coming.
Yeah.
Like, just don't even fucking bother. You're literally holding up everyone else that is here.
Hungry people.
Right. On Thanksgiving.
Yeah. That's
So, like, I stopped hanging out with her in public. And I'm just like, pretty much I'd only make plans with her for her to come over here. Because it was just like, well, whenever she shows up, I'm here anyways.
That totally makes sense. Yeah.
And that was the one time where she's like, oh, just come by my new place. I want you to see my new place. I'm like, she can't be late to her own apartment.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Oh my God.
Like, she left me standing out there for 15 minutes and just didn't respond to her phone. So I left. And then she's like, where'd you go? I'm like, I'm going home. You left me standing outside of your apartment for 15 fucking minutes at 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, just come back. Like, all right, I'll come back. Because I'm like,
oh, no.
I'm pot committed to getting laid here. Like, I drove to Van Nuys already.
Yeah.
I drove west of the 405 in Van Nuys. From here. I'm doing the
At least
thing.
there's not much traffic at 1 a.m.
Definitely not. But I'm doing the thing. I came back. She still wasn't there.
That's fucking wild.
I mean, I literally rang the doorbell and like gave it like a minute. And when she didn't let me, I left again. And then she's like, where'd you go? I'm like, you left me fucking standing outside again. Like, this isn't cool.
That's insane.
And then she's like, come back. I'm outside smoking. And if I'm done with my cigarette, like, I'll let you ready. I'm like, if you are not standing outside when I pull up, I'm not stopping. Like, this is where I'm at right now.
That's extreme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably on both our parts.
Yeah, I feel like your reaction to that was fairly reasonable.
Fairly. And then when I parked, I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, dude, I just don't want to argue with you about this. I'm like, it's really hard to try to have a fight with someone who's not not going to engage in the fight.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, now I just will feel like an asshole if I fucking vent like how uncool this was. So, okay. And then we proceeded to like hang out upstairs at her place for like hours before sex happened.
That's a late night.
Yeah. And then shortly after orgasm, I showering off, just literally sitting in the tub, letting the shower roll and be like, where did my self-respect go?
I very much understand that moment of post-nut clarity now after the full story.
Yeah. Yeah. Needless to say, have not fucked her since. So
yeah, might be a good decision.
It's probably a good call. Probably a good call. So I stand by post-nut clarity is a real thing.
It is for me too. Just to throw in, like, yep.
Oh, do you got a story for the class?
Women get post-nut clarity too. I mean, yeah, I don't have any like really hyper-specific recent examples. Because
I mean, they could be old ones.
Yeah, there was some questionable hookups that I had when I was in college. You know, one was a guy.
What made them questionable?
Well, one was this guy that I met online, and we had organized like a meetup specifically just purely for sex. Like, it was very much on the surface, like, we're gonna hook up and just like meet so we can have sex. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's not the thing.
I mean,
an issue.
That wasn't me trying to confirm that for you. More for the audience. If they're like, "Oh, I can't believe she met a dude online," just have like, no, that's fine. That's
normal.
That's very normal.
That's fine and normal.
Also, like, between two consenting adults, fuck off if you have a problem with that.
Yeah. No, the thing that was kind of weird about it was like I went to his place because I was like, I don't want to bring you to I had like 4 roommates at the time. I was just like, no. But we lived in the same like college town, which wasn't very large. So I went to his apartment, and like he answered the door and he was like, my roommate's in the shower right now. Like, be quiet so he doesn't hear you. So we went and had sex in this guy's bedroom while his roommate the whole time, like, literally was like there for maybe 30 minutes. His roommate was showering the entire time, which is also weird because I'm just like, who takes a 30-minute shower? Especially like in LA? What the fuck is your water bill? That's insane. Okay. Damn.
I'd like to be comfortable. I like to relax.
I'm a fan of long showers, but I live in a place where there's not a water shortage. So I don't have to think about it ever.
Well, the beautiful part is like the water bill's divided between the whole building.
Oh, that's nice. That's rare for here too, I feel like.
Yeah, so it's
nice.
You know, I'm just fucking my neighbors more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck those neighbors. Enjoy your showers.
I do.
So the other thing that was like kind of just the reason, that kind of the biggest reason aside from the roommate being in the shower the whole time, which for some reason just weirded me out, was that the guy, like, he was a college student, and like, I mean, I guess based on age, he was my age and I was like 19 or 20 at the time. So I'm like, he couldn't have served in the military, I wouldn't think, unless he was like joined when he was 18 and did basic and then immediately got like discharged or something.
I mean,
but he had fucking like military shit everywhere in his bedroom. Like, I don't even remember what branch it was, but it was probably like Army or Marines or something. But it was just like military shit, like all over like posters. Like, I was like, are you just like, did you get your room decorated by someone who's a recruiter for the U.S. Army? Like,
maybe he's just a big Call of Duty
camouflage player. Everything. Like, and it was fine. Like, he was respectful. It was fun, the sex part. But like immediately after the sex was done, I just like looked at around the bedroom and I was just like, ugh, what am I doing here? Okay, time to go.
This man is going to try to marry and impregnate me if, you know, most military.
Yeah, you get those extra benefits.
Yep.
That increase in pay. Good deal.
Off-base housing.
Mm-hmm.
You were his.
What a treat.
You were his key to fucking freedom.
Yeah. Damn.
You probably did the right move by running away.
Well, I'm sorry, Ryan. I don't remember what his... I feel like his name probably started with an R, but I have no idea what it really was, so I'm just calling him Ryan.
It's okay. Like, I feel like you're a weirdo if you can remember all your partner's names.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyone who can remember, like, the name of everyone they've slept with has not lived a good life.
I mean, like, yeah, if you... I mean, granted, I feel like there's plenty of people who don't sleep with a ton of folks and are quite happy with themselves and their lives, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, they just don't know what they're missing.
But yeah, I also don't think that there's anything wrong with like enjoying yourself and having a lot of fun sex, and like, yeah, if you don't, I don't remember I remember the names of all my co-stars that I've worked with.
Well, you're a rarity.
That's different because it's a different headspace when I'm performing and when I'm in front of it's like there's more of a like in the moment like consciousness happening, I think.
I mean, I know some performers who just put together a spreadsheet so they didn't forget, but
that's great. That's adorable.
Well, it's also just like in case of infection, like they could easily trace back.
Yeah, that's valid. I don't know if I used to do that because I don't work in studios often.
Well, the friends of mine who did that, like, Jesus, I'm dating myself, did this like 10 years ago. So when it was just studio work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's when I started 10 years ago. It was really only studio work. You were really like, on the forefront of content creation as a performer if you had a clips for sale store.
That's when clips for sale was like impossible to like navigate. I know people that made a living like setting up other people's clips for sale.
Oh my God, yes. Because clips for sale, like, love clips for sale. Fantastic platform. I still have a thing on there that I don't really update anymore. But yeah, no, it was like extra, like really nice extra income for me for years. But holy fuck, that platform was built on like some 1997 bullshit. Like it's wild. It
Angel Fire, the porn site
now. Yeah, pretty much. GeoCities.
So ridiculous. Like, how are you doing transactions for probably millions of dollars site wide and still not updated to something much more user friendly? Come on, guys.
I mean, granted, like that, the way that website is laid out, though, it's like it's a lot. I feel like, yeah, that even if I had the money to do it, I'd be like, nah, do I really want to? Oh, I don't want to.
Right. Just think how much
sounds boring.
How many more people would have had clips for sale sites if it was easier to set up?
If people understood it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that was by design. Maybe they were like, look, if you can't figure this out, then fuck you. You don't deserve a clips for sale storefront.
Yeah, we don't deserve a cut of your money. That's a bad business model. I'm just putting that out there. That is a bad...
I will say, based on what I've heard recently from people trying to get into the OnlyFans game, it doesn't sound like a whole lot easier. Like, OnlyFans, like, is so, like, if you try to apply for, like, a creator account, the verification process is, like, I've just heard a lot of people being like, yeah, I, like, uploaded my IDs, like, 50 times, and, like, did a facial scan verification, and it still keeps, like, saying it doesn't match, and it can't verify, and it, like, doesn't let people make an account. And that's not even in your control. That's just like,
oh, that's software. One way. That's one way to weed out porn. Like, we just won't let new people make accounts.
Pretty much,
as people leave the industry. Yeah, we'll just
Well, that's the other thing that they started doing, and I don't have a personal like verification about this, but I just know that I had a few people who were newer to the business like ask me directly about this because they were running into issues with like never having had an OnlyFans account before, making one at some point in their recent past, and in that like they got verified or whatever, but like they passed the like ID verification, the facial scan stuff, but then part of the process of like submitting that application for a creator account is that you have to link social media profiles that are currently active, but there was like a thing where they were making you link accounts that have your legal name on them.
What?
Right. And it can't be one that was like just created yesterday. It has to be one that's like has an account history that clearly is active and is not set to private, but that has your legal name in the display name and or the actual username, which like if you're a sex worker making an OnlyFans account, that's absolutely unthinkable because you're like doxing yourself.
Right.
Right. So why would anyone do it? So that kind of, when someone told me that, I was like, that seems like a clever way for OnlyFans to try to stop porn people from making new accounts.
So I
don't even know if it's still happening, but I know at one point it was because I heard enough people mentioning it.
So I think my plan is now I'm just going to start making fake Twitter accounts for people. And like temporarily till you're verified, we'll just change the @ name and the display name to whatever name you want.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll have existed for fucking months at the time that you go to apply. And then right after you're verified, we'll just change it back to whatever the fuck garbage.
You have to have posts on it though too. That like
I'll post,
really show that you're the person.
I'll post whatever. Hey, guess what? You're into video game content. I will just post about video games.
Yeah, that's fair.
What, you saying sex workers can't have like video games OnlyFans? Is that what you're going to try to say now? No, they do.
Sex workers love video games, dang it.
Right? Adriana Chechik loves video games enough to get injured at TwitchCon.
I just thought of the video, and I'm physically hurt now. Yeah.
So fucked.
Yeah, it's fucked.
It's absolutely fucked. Like, the fact that, like, Adriana and Twitch must be cursed. Like, the fact that, like, they banned her from, like, Versus and all that, like, discriminated against her a bunch and then injured her. Like,
right. I don't. It's.
Adriana, go to YouTube Gaming at this point.
I saw she tweeted about that the other day. She was like, "Should I go to YouTube Gaming?"
Yeah.
I don't even know her personally, but I saw it. I didn't reply to it, but I just saw it and I like in my head out loud. I was like, "Yes, you should."
They won't hurt you. Like Twitch is obviously an abusive partner at this point.
Like as someone who's streamed on Twitch for I guess a couple years now because I started in COVID early 2020. Yeah, I don't love that platform. I worked really hard to get partner and then I got it and then I was like, oh, okay, well now here we are. Like it's cool that I have the little check mark and stuff, but like there's not really much incentive on like
well, especially because they got rid of the good split for you guys.
Oh yeah. That's part of it for sure.
Like, oh hey, the point of grinding to fucking partners, the better monetary split. Oh, we're just gonna get rid of that. Like, cool. So, and I still Twitch stream. Come see my community streams on Thursdays, people.
You're like in the middle of shitting on Twitch.
By the way,
remind you all, come watch me on Twitch.
I'm still an affiliate. I like Prime subs. It's a platform that has shit discoverability. Unless you're a top tier creator, like they don't promote you. Mm-hmm. And it's just fucking hard to stay out from the noise. It's very similar to like being a starting off OnlyFans creator if you're not famous in another fucking platform. Mm-hmm. I've been thinking about making the jump to YouTube Gaming because it's just like I know how to game the YouTube algorithms at least a little bit.
Yeah.
And the fact that like YouTube promotes the fuck out of shorts these days.
Yeah. And I mean, isn't there just generally better discoverability on YouTube for all forms of content on there? Like,
as long as you are tagging it and setting up your SEO properly, 100%.
Right.
Because YouTube is a search engine. It just is. I mean, I literally posted a clip of one of my guests telling people on this show that she wants Bert Kreischer to love her. And it did something like 5,000 views.
Who was this?
Ginger Gray.
Oh, okay. I don't know her. There's just so many porn stars who like love Bert Kreischer, though.
Oh, the fun fact. I posted that same clip to Instagram earlier, and Bert saw it.
I guess I should reverse that. It's like also that Bert Kreischer loves so many porn stars is probably really what's going on there.
Probably.
They're just loving him back.
But she just literally said into my clip, Bert, love me. And I just turned it into a clip. And
aw.
Yeah. And I know I looked at the story. I'm like, oh, Bert saw that one. Okay.
Nice. That's great.
I texted her. I'm like, by the way, Bert knows.
He knows.
He knows now. But he's not going to act on it. It's Sober October.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. That whole crew does Sober October every year.
Isn't there like a sober every month of the year?
I mean, for losers.
I mean, like, I feel like people are like dry January or like, you know, what? Like, I feel like there's like a little hook name for every
there is
month of the year. If like that's the month that you're choosing to do sobriety, there's a cute name for it.
And for people in our business, the idea of like being sober in January is just like, that's when the award shows in the event.
You know, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Especially this year when there's like a fucking 3-day gap between the two.
Could you imagine doing AVN sober? Completely stone cold sober the whole weekend? Could you imagine that?
I refuse to imagine that.
Yeah, like,
in fact.
That
yeah, no.
sounds like hell on earth. And like, no. I don't even have to worry about someone grabbing my ass most of the time. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not nearly as much as other people.
Right.
I'm definitely not wearing anything that accentuates my ass.
Yeah, that's probably advisable.
Oh, ouch, Siri. Ouch. Ouch.
No, I don't mean it that way.
Ouch. Come on my show and be like, don't wear anything that accentuates your ass. Like, just don't do it. Don't do it. Everyone will be happier if you don't. Wow. Wow.
I'm so mean.
I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight.
You're welcome.
I can't show my ass off. Siri says I can't.
Are we allowed to pause recording so I can go pee?
Of course.
Okay, because I'm about to pee my pants.
Well, that's why they're leather chairs.
Or you can leave it running and you can just try to hear me peeing through the...
And we are back from break.
Oh, we're back.
Siri's bladder is emptier, I hope.
It is fully empty now.
How about your bowels? Are your bowels okay?
They're great. Yeah.
Okay.
My bowels are doing really great. I have an anal scene tomorrow, so they're excited for that.
They're just quivering in anticipation for your anal scene.
They are. They're just full of electricity. They're like, it's happening.
Oh, don't shock your co-star now.
I mean, I'll shock him with my butt talents, but...
Oh, well, I mean, if your butt talents are actually having an electrified asshole, like, that would definitely throw some talent off.
So there is, like, I just got a neon wand. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
But
I know exactly what it is.
I don't have the attachment. I want to get the attachment that, like, it's like an electrode thing that you wear so that whenever you touch someone, like, just any part of your body will, like, electrify them. Because then I would literally have an electric butthole.
I mean, you just want male talent to fail, huh? Can you imagine?
I think it's pleasurable.
Not
like you're being, like, violently shocked. It's more of, like, a little, like... Bzz, bzz, bzz,
yeah, but I don't know. If I stuck my dick in someone and all of a sudden, like, what the fuck?
Or
I would have an orgasm that might send you to the moon. I don't know.
Exactly.
Full on, like, first scary movie, just get launched to the ceiling. The Wayans brothers were geniuses. What do you think, by the way?
It's amazing. It's delicious.
It should still be a $26 bottle, God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look and see what this costs, like, in Louisville, because I'd be very surprised if it costs even nearly that amount.
It's distilled by Buffalo Trace, so it's made in Bardstown,
which is very, very close to me.
Yeah.
I'm taking a photo so I can remember.
And if you get a cheap supply on it, we could be real good friends.
Yeah, I would. I'm always overweight in my suitcase, so I don't know the likelihood that I'd be able to get it in a suitcase. But I do usually make a drive out here for a longer trip.
Well, how many bags are you bringing?
Usually 2.
Well, it's only fucking $65 for a third bag. It generally goes 25. It generally goes 35, 45, 65.
Oh, I always fly Southwest, so it's 2 bags free. But then if either of them are overweight, it's like $75.
Right,
and I think even the third is just $75.
Okay, that's fine. 75. If it's full of bourbon, I'll make profit on that.
All right.
Also, get off Southwest.
No, sir.
Yes.
No, coming out here from a city that's small like Louisville, that is the only reliable route, I promise. I've been doing the flight every month for like 2 years now.
But you could just fly on Delta, go through Atlanta, and be here.
Atlanta's the other direction.
I know, but not far.
Well, I don't like it.
It's one of those things like, once you have status, your bags are free, and then you can use the miles to go other places.
I already do that with Southwest.
Yeah, domestic places.
No, Costa Rica.
Oh,
Costa Rica. And I went to Mexico this summer.
Right.
On Southwest.
I am going to fucking Tokyo for free in fucking December on my miles on Delta. So,
all right. Like, I'm not going to hate you for being a Delta guy, because that is when I don't fly on Southwest, Delta's the other one that I would choose. I actually did. One time I had, my schedule got fucked up when I was out here for a shoot trip, and I ended up flying home on a different day than I had originally planned, and Southwest didn't have a good flight option, so I just booked a last-minute Delta flight home, and it was a red-eye, a direct, which is hard to find, regardless of airline, because the airport in Louisville is very tiny, and you almost don't ever get directs, especially not from the West Coast, but it was a direct, and it left at like 11 p.m. and got there at like 9 a.m. or something. And fuck, that was so good, because the only tickets left were also first class, and it was like a brand new, beautiful plane with the little fucking beds that fully recline.
Oh shit, you got the business. Oh, see, once you've flown those, it's so hard to go back to coach, because I have flown those internationally, and it's so hard. Literally, my flight from LA to Australia, I was on one of those flights. And
that'd be nice, yeah.
They had a cheese tray. Like, they just had a cheese tray on a cart. Like,
damn.
I'm just like, why? How can I go back to where the peasants are?
Right.
I am not bougie about a lot of things in life. Flying is one of those things that, like, I've sadly became bougie about.
Yeah, but it's also like, it's sad, because what we would call bougie on a flight is literally just like being treated like a fucking human in any other context. It's like it really shouldn't be thought of as bougie, but it is, obviously, because like if you're getting that good seat, like this first class thing on the Delta, it was a one-way ticket that I bought last minute. The only option left was first class. It was like $800. I ate that. I was just like, God damn it, but I need to get home by this date. So fuck it. At least it's a tax deduction because it's a business expense.
Right. But once you start doing those international...
But once I was on the flight and like reclined fully and on my third glass of champagne, I was like, this is worth $800.
Oh, I would do that for $800 in a heartbeat. It's when it starts being like $5,000 when it's like...
Oh, like the international? Yeah. I don't know, man.
I've never actually paid for it. I've either burned miles to do it. This is why I'm a proponent of being on a national carrier that goes around, because then you can burn miles and do it, and that's awesome. And then with my status, I got bumped up a couple times for free. I paid.
That's nice.
Like my first flight to Tokyo, where I got bumped up to business class for free. I paid $1,600 round trip for that flight.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah, on the way there, got bumped.
That's pretty good.
I feel bad for my buddy I left in coach, but
sad for him.
Yeah.
Was it like the scene in Bridesmaids? Did he just get like super fucking drunk and like on painkillers and was like wandering to first class?
Oh yeah, he definitely wandered up. He wandered up and woke me up while I was fully reclined at one point. Like, hey man, what's up? He's like, I was just going to see what's going on.
Oh, that's
well, and I feel bad because I'm sad. I've told the story on air. I'm sorry, audience. It's heard it. You know, we booked the trip together, but we were on separate itineraries, and we were originally sitting next to each other. And when they called for like the status boarding, I'm like, I'll board, make sure we have overhead space. I go scan my boarding pass and the upgrade ticket prints out. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I go and take my seat in business. I'm like, can I trade with whoever got my seat? Like, I'm flying with somebody. They're like, the purser, the two people on either side of me, like, this is a 14-hour flight. Your friend will understand.
Oh my God. No.
They come by with a tray of mimosas. I grab one. They're like, your friend will understand. I'm like, yeah, my friend will understand. Drinking my mimosa, like, he'll understand. And he boards and walks right past me. I'm like, hey man, I hope this is cool. Like, yeah, it's cool. I'm like, you said it. You said it's cool.
God.
I'm staying here and you said it's cool.
I would have been so sad if I were him. I would have probably just immediately started crying and be like, it's fine. You don't like me.
Well, if he had just said, nah, man, like, it's not cool, I would have probably been like, all right, let me get the person. It's the lucky day for whoever got my fucking seat.
Jeez, yeah.
But he said it was cool. I don't care if it was passive aggressively or not. If I ask you a direct question like that, you have to fucking give me a direct answer.
Yeah.
Because if you pull passive aggressive shit, I will just be like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I got bumped up to business class on the way back from Amsterdam to New York, which, thank you, Delta. That probably saved a friendship.
Yeah.
Because that one, my buddy was on my itinerary, so we both got bumped up.
Uh-huh.
And we were flying all the way back from South Africa.
Oh, my God.
And because dude's 5'7" and like 160 pounds, and I booked all the flights, I put him in the middle seat on every flight. I'm a larger person. Like,
that's fair.
Yeah, he was not happy about it. So us getting bumped up to business class on the
win-win.
Yeah, probably saved our friendship. And then I got bumped going to Australia too. So it's just like once you've experienced that, it's so hard to go back to coach. Such first world problems.
Time since I flew internationally in the first place, and even then I haven't flown that much internationally.
Why not?
Actually, I had plans to do much more of that right before COVID hit. And now at this point, I'm just like, taking a vacation is hard enough as it is. Doing it far away is just like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but being able to just fucking disconnect.
I mean, I went to Alaska this summer.
Really? How was that?
Technically international, but
not. I mean,
pretty fucking far away.
I mean, it is closer to Russia than it is here, but
yes. Oh God, no, it's fantastic. It was amazing. I did the worst thing possible when I came home, which is that I just flew from Alaska back to Kentucky. Like, I had just like daisy chained different flights together. So I was traveling for 24 hours solid.
That's the fucking worst.
It was like one boat a small plane, like a bush plane essentially, and then like 3 other full, or maybe 4 other full planes. I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot of flying.
Why did you go to Alaska?
My partner was spending time up there. And
Disposing of bodies?
I
like
wanted to go visit.
What do you do in Alaska? Like crab
What
fish?
does anyone do in Alaska?
I don't fucking know. It's one of the 5 states I haven't been to.
So, I mean, I think that what most people are doing in Alaska is hiding from the law. That's my theory.
Or being hypocrites about teenage pregnancy, but
That took me a minute, but I got it.
anywho.
Also, whenever I shift in the seat, there's like a squealing noise, and I don't want people to think that I'm making weird sounds with my butt. I mean, I am making weird sounds with my butt, but it's my jeans rubbing on the chair, to be clear.
Oh, I just thought it was your electric bowels.
Me, 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 me. It's like full radar noise coming out of my butt.
It's fucking up the electronics. Like, every time you touch the mic, it sounds like it's grounded. Like, no, but seriously, like, what were you guys like? What'd you do in Alaska?
Well, I learned how to gut salmon. It's just like a wilderness retreat. So I spent a week up there, and it was fucking great. I'm trying to think. It's kind of a blur because I was microdosing mushrooms every day that I was up there.
Why not macro?
I don't really necessarily want. I haven't ever like done a full like big huge trip on mushrooms.
Why the fuck?
I kind of have done one which approached like a big trip. Well, for one, like I previously mentioned this, but I'm on an SSRI, and it makes it a lot harder to actually like experience the full effects of anything like that.
Well, just forget your meds for a day.
Doesn't really work like that because I've tried that, and like it requires less of like the mushrooms or whatever to take effect if I do skip the SSRI. But it's just not like the dosing's not reliable. It's hard to know how much would even affect me. So, but for whatever reason, microdosing actually has a noticeable effect.
Hopefully, you can get to a point where you can just microdose and not need SSRIs, since psilocybin's supposed to help with that shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of why I started to get into it, because I was like thinking about like, this is like a nice thing to supplement or maybe eventually replace. I don't know. Like, I'm not like anti pharmaceuticals, but I also I like the effect of microdosing.
So I'm not
like a net positive to me, whereas the SSRI is like,
I'm not anti-pharmaceuticals. It's just the fucking side effects, as we previously discussed, potential side effects.
Oh yeah, the side effects suck ass.
Right. So I would rather just do a lot of shrooms.
I'm fortunate now that I'm on an SSRI that I've been on for a few years that has really no noticeable side effects at all. Even if I forget or like run out because I didn't get the refill soon enough or something, like even withdrawal symptoms are like hardly noticeable at all, which is rare. It's also like the lowest dose of it, so that's probably part of it. But I've been on a lot of SSRIs in my life, and none of the ones I've been on in the past were like that easygoing for me. So I'm kind of like, yeah.
That's awesome, because like I don't know what flavor of antidepressants like some family members have been on, but like they definitely turned some family members of mine like kind of into zombies. It was like, oh, no lows, but definitely no highs either.
Yeah.
And
it can be wild. And I think the dosage is relevant for sure too.
Well, and when they tried to get off them, like they could not go cold turkey because it would possibly kill them.
Jesus Christ. I'm not sure. I feel like I want to say like Wellbutrin is the one that I've heard a lot of horror stories about, especially with like getting off of it.
I didn't delve deep into like, oh, let me go look at your pill bottle real quick.
Yeah.
I just saw the effects.
Very scary. Yeah.
I've had a bad trip or two in my day, but like nothing like that horrible.
Yeah.
The pandemic, one of the things the pandemic has definitely done for me is made me a giant proponent of mushrooms. Like I've probably done more mushrooms in the last 2 years than I had in the last 10.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people got really into mushrooms during the pandemic, and I'm like, yes, I love this. Let's all bake bread and eat mushrooms.
Yeah,
all together.
I just ate a lot of mushrooms, watched a lot of weird movies, like full on tripped by myself a bunch of times. Discovered that like if you are tripping hard, kimchi is amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds great. I mean, I love kimchi generally, so yeah.
Just like while I was tripping, like the texture and the spice of it was just magnifique. And it was a discovery of I'm tripping hard. I'm kind of hungry. I don't trust myself to cook right now. What do I have available? I have a giant jar of kimchi.
There we go.
There we go. I'm like, oh, this is fucking great.
Yeah, it sounds good. I could get into that. Note to self, buy giant jar of kimchi when I get home.
See, that's one thing LA has going for it. Readily available giant jars of kimchi. Like, I just rolled down to my Korean market. I can get 12 pounds of it for like $15.
Holy shit. Ugh. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like carrying my kimchi, baby.
Maybe we work out like a trade. Like I send you giant bottles of bourbon, you send me giant jars of kimchi.
Deal, sucker. Deal. Can we shake on that?
No.
Damn it. I probably should have called you a sucker before I shook on. Damn it. Damn it.
I don't know what kimchi costs in LA. I don't know.
It's good stuff. It's probably, made by real enslaved Korean grandmothers.
Oh my God. This bourbon is very good. Yeah.
It's good, but it is not a $125 bottle good.
No, it's not. This is like $60 bottle good, I would say.
Yeah, but it was so good when it was
like if I spent $60 on this and this is what I got, I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, but when it was 25 and people didn't know about it, I was so happy.
Yeah. That's just a crazy, you got lucky thing. I highly doubt that it's that low, even if you go to the literal Weller.
I'm telling you, last year I got a handle of it in Texas for $44, which was retail.
Man.
If you don't know, this is also W.L Weller Special Reserve is basically rejected Pappy. It is the same mash and barrel as this Pappy. Mm-hmm. It's only aged 7 years, and basically, this ain't gonna make the cut to be Pappy, so they bottle it as Weller.
All right.
And that's why people didn't realize for a long time what the fuck it was. And then
that makes sense.
People were like, wait a minute, I can essentially get young Pappy for $26 a bottle.
Wild.
And it's even harder to find there is a Weller 12.
Yeah.
And that shit used to not be very expensive either. And now, if you can find it, is prohibitively expensive.
Damn.
I mean, part of it is because Buffalo Trace started putting the shit out on consignment instead of just mass releasing it.
Okay. I don't even know what that means.
So they only release so many bottles to specific regions, retailers, stuff.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
It's not like Eagle Rare or Buffalo Trace where it's just like, as we make it, you get it.
Well, that's dumb.
Yeah, it basically used to be that's how retailers get Pappy also. It's like, if you sell so much of Buffalo Trace's normal products, you get so many bottles of the rare stuff.
Okay, yeah.
It's a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, it's I don't know how alcohol works. The distribution systems.
I mean, you're an adult. I hope you know how alcohol works.
Yes, the substance in my body. Yes. The distribution though is so confusing to me. And all the states have different laws. Like in Kentucky, because I live there, you can't subscribe to any wine clubs, shit like that. You can't do it. But that's because Kentucky is very protective of their one of their main economic engines being alcohol.
I feel like it's their only, and horse racing.
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess once upon a time, coal.
I'm sure there are still people mining coal.
There's some people. There's 12 people mining coal in Kentucky still.
And they all voted for Trump.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny that cracks me up is I'll see people in Kentucky driving electric cars, and there's you can get the the different license plate designs in each state, and in Kentucky one of our little license plate designs that you can choose if you don't want the default one is Friends of Coal. It's a black license plate that has a little logo. It says Friends of Coal, and I'll see people driving Teslas, a fully electric car with a custom plate that says Friends of Coal, and I just find it's funny to me.
Kentucky ranks real low in our education system, sadly.
This is true.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Mm-hmm.
At least bourbon comes from there. So it has some redeeming qualities.
I mean, I don't want to get into it because I have opinions, but yeah, after living there for 6 years, it's yeah.
You're welcome to voice them.
Oh, they don't fund education enough there. That's
well, yeah. How do you expect them to vote for the people they vote for if they fund education?
Oh, precisely. Yeah.
They won't vote for those people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm assuming Walmart's the number one employer in the state.
I don't believe so. I think it's Humana, the health insurance company. Maybe not in the state. It definitely isn't like the city of Louisville, I would think. There's some big, it's like, there's a couple of the like liquor industry companies. There's Yum.
Yum is the number one employer in Kentucky
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah, Yum is Taco Bell KFC parent company.
And Pizza Hut. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. You have bourbon and fast food.
I have a friend who's like, knows someone who worked at Yum for a long time. And she just gets like weird Taco Bell merch. Like she has like she showed me this photo. It's like a table runner that's something that you would put out for like Christmas or Thanksgiving. That's like for your big like dining table, but it's just fucking Taco Bell themed. And you can't buy this at a store. You just have to know someone who works for Taco Bell, like corporate.
They just give them out as stocking stuffers to corporate members?
Yeah. They have stuff, they have like merch created only for like corporate employees that are just like little freebies that they get. There's all kinds of weird shit. I'm kind of jealous. I'm kind of like, I want the Taco Bell hookup. I didn't even like Taco Bell that much, but they make some cute shit.
Well, luckily, where you live, throw a stone, you'll probably find someone who works for Yum.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, yes. I probably already have like 10 friends that work for them, and I just never knew.
Wow, way to be invested in your friends' lives.
Yeah. I don't ask my friends their jobs. I don't know what anyone does.
Is it just so they don't ask you what you do?
No.
I mean, it would make sense if you're like...
They already know what I do. That's why. They never talk about work, because they know if they ask me about work, then I'm just going to like go on and on about some like dick that I sucked.
That's fucked up. They know what you do and you don't know what they do. That's fucked up, Siri. It's fucked up.
I know what some of them do.
Some
of them, yeah.
Wow. Some.
Mm-hmm.
So deeply invested.
Well, sometimes, see, you're making assumptions about me, but sometimes it's that people don't love their jobs and they don't want to talk about it anyway. So.
Oh, the jobs I don't love are the ones I talk about the most.
When you need to bitch it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the last jobs that I had before I came out of retirement, was just like the kind of things that I'm like, well, this is a job. That's all I can really say.
Like, well, it puts food on the table. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Especially doing those kind of jobs in LA, it's like, oh, there is some complete fucking idiot who inherited a lot of money, living a lot better than me right over there.
Yeah. Yeah, LA's full of that. There's a lot of reasons that I wouldn't really voluntarily live permanently in this city anymore. I'll add that one to the list now. Thank you.
See, the thing about it is, I honestly do love living here. At least pre-pandemic, I definitely love living here. Like,
yeah.
That 2 years of sitting in this fucking apartment, I'm like, man, I am paying for the price of admission in an amusement park and sitting in the parking lot.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a really good analogy. Yeah.
Because honestly, pre-pandemic, I definitely felt LA is worth the price of admission. Like, the opportunities here, the entertainment options, just everything that the city's got going for it.
Oh, yeah.
Is worth the cost and like the 2-3 jobs I got to hold down at times to make it fucking work. Because I just couldn't imagine myself living back in the fucking Midwest.
Fair.
I'm assuming, Minneapolis is similar to Chicago in people don't really do shit. They get comfortable and stay.
I mean, especially if we're talking, it's winter.
Yeah. Well, I've been gone 10 years and a lot of my friends are at the same bars and restaurants they're at when I fucking left.
Yeah.
A lot of them are very talented artists who talked very much about doing things and then just fucking didn't.
Oh yeah, I mean it can be hard for sure when you're in a smaller city where there's just not enough, like not as much opportunity anyway.
I mean, Chicago's not necessarily a small city. It's just people get fucking comfortable. People just like it's that Midwestern mentality of like, hey, you're supposed to pair off, like have a family, do a job that will support that family, and be risk adverse. Mm-hmm. Midwest is just risk adverse for the most part.
That's why it's Midwest.
And say what you want about LA. Nobody fucking moved here just to move here.
God, no. If anyone did move here just because they were like, you know what? You know where I haven't lived in LA? That sounds kind of fun. Like, that is like the nepotism baby thing.
Yeah,
that's like
exactly.
That's like I got $1 million from daddy. I'll go try out living in LA just for fun.
Right. Nobody I associate with moved here just to fucking move here.
Yeah, no, that would be absolutely insane.
Absolutely. So it's inspiring to me to be around other fucking creatives that are actively working towards trying to accomplish something.
Yeah.
Even if they're fucking delusional. And if you have an ounce of self-awareness, occasionally you have to look like, am I one of the delusional ones? Fuck. Am I? Shit. But then you keep doing it.
Yeah.
And like, I like that. I like that a lot. Instead of people just talking a big game about like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a professional musician. Well, then go be a fucking professional musician and go suffer for your fucking art. Don't go back to your fucking day job and play music on the weekends.
I kind of do both.
Yeah, but it's okay if you want to do that. If like, hey, music's my hobby. Music's not like, is music the career you're trying to,
yeah,
full time?
Yeah, that's fair. I'm like, I suffer for my art by having to be present in LA for a week out of every month. That is my suffering. When that week is complete and I have finished my work in LA, I'm so happy to fly back to Kentucky and go be a bum in my house with my cats.
Well, and I would like to interject.
And I feel like I have truly...
I'd like to interject. You suffer for your art just for the nature of your art.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be like, if you're fully conscious and aware of what you're doing, which obviously coming out of retirement and coming back to this, you are. You know what the stigma is, the bullshit that comes with it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So...
yeah, I got to have the, hey, parents, I'm doing porn conversation not once, but twice.
It wasn't a phase, Mom.
There was the, hey, parents, I'm doing porn conversation the first time, which went poorly. Then there was the, hey, parents, I'm not going to do porn anymore conversation, which was miraculous for them. Then there was the, hey, parents, I'm going to quit my fairly well-paying, like, reliable job that's not porn and going to go do porn again. Which was, that was fun. That was,
imagine.
Yeah.
Do you ever, like, regret taking that time off?
No, not at all. I think I in retrospect, I mean, even at the time that I made the choice, I knew that I had to. Like, literally for my own mental health. I was just like, not in a good place. But even after I kind of, like, got the healing that I needed to do out of that and, figured out some of my own shit, like, I live in Kentucky now because, like, I just kind of fell in love with it. And, like, now I've been there for years. And, I met my partner because I moved there. Like, I have the best friends that I've ever had in my life, like, that I met there. And I kind of have, like, some roots there now. So, and none of that would have fucking happened if I hadn't decided to, like, take that break. Or, at the time was a retirement. Like, now I can retroactively call it a break because that's what it ended up being.
Honestly, I don't think anyone should ever say, I'm retired from porn, because the amount of people that actually retire, pretty low.
Mm-hmm. With me, and I referred to it as a retirement because I truly did, like, I completely divested myself of any business interests in it. Which, I mean, now, of course, I look back and I'm like, was that the wisest choice? No. But it's like, I don't want to get into the reasons why, but it was the choice that made the most sense for me. And not for financial reasons, but for other reasons.
I think we talked about it a little bit last time you were on.
Yeah.
It's like, no, for mental health reasons, perfectly made sense. I was just curious, and like, with rose-colored glasses on the 5 years out.
Mm-hmm. No, one of the reasons that I'm most glad that I did decide to leave, and I'm more glad that I decided to come back after 5 years, but that 5-year interim was like, when I started porn when I was about 23, so I was already kind of probably older than a lot of women when they start, because it is more common, I think, for people like 19 to 21 to start out. So I already had a little more, like, I had almost a full college degree under my belt. I was like a few credit hours short of graduating. But when I started porn, and I had lived, like, I wasn't right out of high school. Like, I had a life experience. Like, I had a job history and everything. But still, there's a difference between that and, like, being a fully self-sufficient adult, And that 5-year break was like, not only gave me a lot more experience as just a fucking adult, but also like was a really, really good reality check. I mean, just for example, like, you know, when I was doing porn, when I first started out, 2012 to 2015, that was before OnlyFans days. That was the only money I made was like the check I walked home with that day from a studio shoot. So it was far more of a hustle than it is now. But, and also like living in LA and paying LA prices, like, you know, I was doing fine, but I wasn't like making crazy bank or anything, because it was like you would have to like shoot every fucking day to make that kind of crazy money and like have like merchandising deals and all this other stuff.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's about, you know, I got in 2011. I know.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I guess what I'm saying is like, I was doing well, like I was supporting myself and like doing just fine. And like, you know, probably was on a track to like be doing even better financially, but I didn't even realize how good I had it until I left the industry and then like, you know, took a like rando civilian job was like the first thing I did when I moved away. And the reality check of like remembering like, oh yeah, this is what it's like to be a fucking person who just like works a job.
Well, and oh my God, my 2-week check is less than one scene. Fuck.
Yeah, which is why I think I hear from my fans a lot, like especially when it comes to OnlyFans, I hear from my fans a lot that they're like, wow, like thank you for like being really fair with the way you price things. Because there's a lot of like weird price gouging that happens in that space. And I get like on the one hand, I'm like everyone who's a content creator obviously has the right to price their content at whatever they feel that it is worth, and that's fine. But personally, I've always approached it like, I want my fans to be able to afford my content. You are my fan, you have sought me out, you want to subscribe and see my updates, and I would like for you to be able to do that without feeling like it's a massive fucking stretch, you know? And I've had full conversations with fans where I'm like, yeah, literally the reason I have this approach is because I know what my bank account looked like 4 years ago. I'm not terribly far removed from that, you know? Like, so the biggest thing for me with that retirement period was like really just the reality check, like remembering what it's like to like have this 3-year period where I was, you know, quasi famous as a porn star, and then basically just like toss it all in a trash can. And I don't know if I've probably never shared photos of it because I think it's too personal, but I will just describe like basically what I did when I like left the industry and moved is I like dyed my hair really, really dark and like cut big, thick bangs. Honestly, not too far off from my hair right now, but like really thick bangs, dark hair, and like big fucking chunky glasses. So like I did like my own little Clark Kent. I was like, I'm secret now. No.
I just work for the Daily Planet. Don't mind me.
But yeah, like I literally was just like, all right, just normal, boring job.
Sorry, I just got the idea of you doing a porn parody of like, oh, don't mind me. I just work at the Daily Planet. Is that a dick that needs sucking? And just bring into the phone booth. Sorry.
Accurate. But that's also why I have like zero fucking patience for performers, like of any gender. I think the stereotype tends to be like younger women in porn who have like a diva mentality, but also there are plenty of male performers who have this. But like, I just don't have patience for folks who have like massive egos in this industry.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
See? I don't know. Okay. Talking more shit in my own apartment. Jeez, Siri. Down.
You're referring to your own ego?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Is it massive?
Totally. It's absolutely wild. The people, like the egos, like some people, it's like, especially some of these performers, it's like when they're being shitty to directors and PAs and shit like that. Mm-hmm. Like these people that are employing you have been around since you were in diapers.
Literally, yes. Yeah.
And they're going to be around well after you're gone.
It's so, I hate to make it like super reductive, which is what I'm probably about to do anyway. So I guess fuck it. But like, and I don't say this in a way that I'm like trying to like I love being a porn performer. Like I could take 30 minutes and list all of the detailed reasons why this is my favorite job. And literally something that I do feel is akin to like a calling, which is weird to say because it's like, I don't have a spiritual feeling about sucking dick, but it is, there's so many reasons that this works the best for me in my life.
Then if you don't have a spiritual feeling about sucking dick, you're a very good actor.
Thank you. But like, there's something about this, like, yeah, I guess it is just that, like, when, like, I've seen performers like develop this like kind of outsized ego very quickly. And as someone who, I don't think you'll probably find anyone who's ever worked with me who would be like, yeah, Siri has an insane, terrible ego. Like, I think I'm a pretty reasonable person, but it is wild. Like, after my experience, like, for like gaining success for my first 3 years and then just like literally like going off the map entirely and living very anonymously, like, I would sometimes get recognized, but like, I've worked really hard to not be recognizable. And just realizing, like, having this big reality check of like, you can have fun and have a career in porn and you can make a great living, and like, that can be so satisfying. And like, some of us are in it because we're exhibitionists and we like attention and all this stuff, and that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with liking the job for those reasons, but like, to make it your whole fucking personality, or to think that like it makes you somehow more important, is so, it's so wild to me. And it honestly just makes me sad, because it's like, you're not gonna do this. Like, you could have a career of some sort in porn forever, but you're not gonna be actively a performer until the day you die. And well, I don't know, maybe. Well, but like,
hopefully not, because that means you're probably dying young.
Right, yeah. So, but you know what I mean, is like,
well, no, I'd say this to performers all the time. Like, there's only one Lisa Ann. The amount of performers that make it to that age and like are still relevant, it's like the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah,
I know Lisa. Lisa's a fucking hustler. Like, her business acumen is fucking.
No, she's seriously like a businesswoman.
Right.
But you could say that about almost any woman in this industry who's super successful. Like, most of the time when someone gets to that level, it's because they're very wise with business.
But there are definitely some people that are very successful, at least for a short amount of time, that don't have the best business acumen in the world.
Oh, true. I guess I get what you mean. That is, we see that a lot. I'm thinking of performers that have a combination of very like incredible success with longevity behind it as well. And that seems to be like kind of the combination there is.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the various reasons people get in this business. Like, are you getting into this business because you see it as a good business opportunity? Or are you getting into it because you just like, having sex? Or are you in this because you had no other opportunities? Like, the people that get into it because they view this as business first, and like, those are the ones that really fucking thrive in the long run. And then it's not to say that the other ones can't develop into someone who becomes business first, but the people that start that way day one, they're so ahead of the game.
That's a good point. And I'm not that first option. I'm like the second one. I really got into it because I was more motivated by like having unique sexual experiences. And I understood that it was a business, but I didn't come into it with a ton of business knowledge on the front end. And I have developed that knowledge over time and figured out what works.
Look at you evolving as a human being.
Right. But no, you're entirely correct, because it does make a huge difference if you start from like having a full breadth of like knowledge of like how you're running a business, and like having literally a business plan.
Right. And just be like, oh shit, I'm a brand.
Yeah.
Like, and I doing this, especially, like, I see the whole spectrum of performers. Like, at the end of the day, this is fun. We're having a good time, but this is still promotion for you. This is still like helping promote your brand. And I see performers who don't take this sort of marketing seriously in any way, shape, or form. Like, they're just either I've had people blow it off. I've had people just kind of like just not take it seriously in any way, shape, or form. And it's like, oh, you're probably not long for this business in the grand scheme of things. I'm like, I don't wish any of those people any ill will, but it's just the basis of, it's the reality.
Professionalism goes a very long way in this industry, because there is, especially when you're dealing with like younger folks, there can be a lack of it. So it doesn't take a whole lot of professionalism to kind of like stand apart as someone who like has a really good sense of what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, like, oh, hey, show up on time, be pleasant.
Showing up on time is like the number one thing, which is hilarious because I'm incapable of showing up on time. But as I said, 7 minutes is my max.
You're LA on time for sure. Like,
yeah.
I definitely plan these things on performers never showing up on time. Like,
Yeah.
occasionally I'll get a performer who like shows up early and I'm wildly just not prepared. The set's not built. I'm like,
Oh no.
like, oh shit, you were early? Fuck. Give me a minute to set up cameras.
Yeah.
I never expected.
I've been early for things like once in my life.
It's okay.
Literally late to my own birthday party. Literally every year.
You're just making an entrance. It's fine.
Yeah. Like I invited all my friends over to do this like big kayaking trip. And I was like, okay, meet at my house at 9 a.m. And like, it's 9:30. The doorbells rang. Everyone's coming in. I hear my friends downstairs. I'm like, I'll be done. I fucking slept here. Like, how am I late? Jesus.
These things happen.
Yeah.
They do. It's okay.
ADHD also happens, which is how I blame all of my lateness. It's ADHD.
I feel like everyone in this industry has it.
Everyone's a Gemini in porn. Like, if you're in porn, you either currently have ADHD, you are a Gemini, or you are a former Mormon.
I am none of those things. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've undiagnosed ADHD, but the rest of it I don't have.
But you already said undiagnosed ADHD. So
I'm not a doctor, so I can't know for sure.
I'm not a doctor either, but you probably have ADHD.
What? Huh? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
So, it's okay. It's what keeps this podcast chaotic.
Mm-hmm. That's the energy that we need. Yeah.
And I'm very happy that like you were able to match it and bring the chaotic ADHD energy all over this podcast.
My Twitter bio says it. Chaotic good.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. I mean, you can ask my partner. It is pretty fucking exhausting, apparently.
He's nodding yes. And he didn't fall for the trap of being asked a question off mic to answer it.
I knew he wouldn't give you a verbal response, but I wanted to personally see the reaction.
You've trained him well.
Yeah.
It's always fun when people bring partners in, because occasionally I will like throw something at them and they're like, yeah, oh, fuck, you told me not to talk. Gotcha. But on that note, as much as it pains me to do it, we're going to call last call. We've been doing this 2 hours already.
Oh, yeah. That's a solid podcast recording.
So, Siri, where can they find you on the things?
You can find me on the Twitter and Instagram. Both of those are at the Siri Dahl, SIRIDAHL. I just made a new TikTok after deleting my own TikTok like 4 months ago because I fucking hate TikTok. But then I was also like, TikTok's great for new traffic, so fine, I'll make a new TikTok. If you want to follow me on TikTok, stupid app, it's the Dahl DAHL.house. And other than that, just SiriDahl.com.
The Twitch.
Siri Dahl is my username on Twitch. Also easy to find. And it's also linked to on SiriDahl.com.
Look at that branding. Holy fuck. Yay. Mm-hmm. See, you already have better business acumen than so many other performers like that don't have fucking 20 different names for their goddamn profiles. Like,
yeah, it's hard. It can be hard. Sometimes if you're not on it, then your fans or like, weird leechy people will squat on all your username options.
I'm painfully aware. Because as always, you can find me at Matt_Slayer on Twitter and Matt Slayer on Instagram. Because some motherfucker. Whoa. You can find you can find my Twitch at twitch.tv/MattFNSlayer, because same. You can find the Patreon at patreon.com/MattSlayer, home of the video versions early, the whole back catalog, the uncensored versions. Yeah. The stuff that YouTube will not allow me to post at patreon.com. And you can find the podcast at And Now We Drink on Twitter and Now We Drink _ on Instagram, because that's camp too. And until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.